guys, I think I'm live. This is so fun. The last time we did this, it was really chill and we could just kind of chatted. And I kind of want to recreate that and also celebrate 9,000 subscribers, which is crazy to me. I'm going to wait until people start to trickle in a little. Hello, if you're here. Oh, hi. Thank you for joining in the car. I hope that you're not driving. I would feel bad. Oh my god, Ashley! Like Ashley, my best friend? Is that you? Hey. There are 6 people here. Hi, Charlotte. Hello. Oh, I feel so loved. Hi, Caitlin. Hi. Oh my god, that's my best friend is here, guys. Hi, Ashley. I hope you're having a good day. I meant to text you and then like I forgot. I'm sorry. Terrible. Hi Reese. I love your profile picture. It's so cute. There are 11 people here. Thank you for coming on such short notice too, because last night I was like, I'm thinking of doing a live stream, and I was talking to my mom after she got home from work, and I've been in a bit of a limbo because I didn't end up getting a job that I was going through like the process for, and I think I got pretty far, and it was a great experience. But because of that, like I'm in limbo. I'm still looking for stuff. And so I was like, I don't really know what to do. I haven't really gotten back into writing because even when I wasn't working, I was writing so much that I like had a very like solid daily routine. But since the holidays ended, I'm just like kind of in limbo. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then yesterday I was talking to my mom and I was like, I'm thinking I might live stream tomorrow. And she's like, oh, that's great. You have a live stream tomorrow. And I was like, oh, I was just thinking about it. And then she was like, oh, because I think she thought that I was actually gonna do it. And so when she said that, I was like, okay, I should actually do it. Thank you so much, Debbie. Like it was the inspiration that I needed. So that's why there wasn't that much notice because it was kind of impulsive. I'm gonna move my microphone because I hope this doesn't make let me mute it because it's in the way of the chat and I want to see what you guys are saying. Okay, in theory it should sound the same. But now it's not in my way. This is a hi book lover. I love your profile picture too. Hi Dallin, how are you doing? I hope everyone's doing good. Is it Friday? I think. Yeah, it is Friday. Hopefully everyone is going into a restful weekend. January is so weird. Like I'm not a fan. I don't think I'm a fan of Januaries, but I think I was able to sort of like mask my like sort of dislike for Januaries because I was always going back to school, so it would be kind of like I said that in a very Canadian accent. I don't even want to repeat it. Oh my gosh. Well, because I was always moving back, it could sort of like mask how like I don't know, stressful the beginning of the year is for me. But now that I have no school, I'm like, wow, I really don't like this. So I'm just taking one day at a time. And, now that it's been, 12 days into the year, I'm like, I think I'm feeling good about, kind of starting things again. I'm happy. I'm happy to be this because I also had to do this for myself yesterday. So I'm happy that I could be that for you. Yes, Ashley's crocheting. Ashley's very good at crocheting, by the way. I've been very impressed. Like the things you create is really cute. Does anybody else crochet? I've been crocheting for a long time and I can't like even come close to the really cute things that Ashley can make. Crochet. I think I've been crocheting since I was like 10. My grandma showed me how to do it. And I found knitting like much harder. So I kind of did crocheting, but I haven't done it in a while. Oh my gosh, Sarah's here too. Hi, Sarah. Ashley and Sarah are here. That's so nice. Let's see. My browser can't play the video, but I'm here in spirit. I'm sorry that it's not playing for you. But thank you for being here. I hope you can at least hear me. Happy New Year to everybody too. I should have started with that. New Year's feels like it just happened, but also it feels like a long time ago, and it's not even been 2 weeks. So, you're making a shirt, a crochet shirt. Girl, I'm gonna need lessons. Like, what? That's so cool. I can't wait to see it. I'm so excited to see you doing the stream today. I've been waiting. Yeah, I'm gonna continue to try to do these frequently because like I love the connection. It's a lot of fun and I like kind of just chatting with you guys. I to be upfront, since it's been 5 minutes, I don't know how much writing we're gonna do. If you did not see yesterday, I published a new podcast episode where I basically talked about having like a big like crisis with writing. So like to be honest, I don't know how much writing I'm gonna be doing. Something that is bothering me right now that I can see, I will get back to the chat in a second. I'm gonna actually see if I can adjust this. I have smart light bulbs in my room. This wasn't my room, it was my brother's room. And when they were doing the room, they did like colored lights because he likes RGB lights. I hate these lights so much. I have beef. If you ever wondered what beef I have beef with smart lights. They're not smart at all. And so they always create like the little lines. So I'm going to turn them up and hopefully that goes away. Okay. But now my face looks weird. Okay, we're going to deal with that. That looks okay. That's better than before. Anyway, okay, lots of people who like crochet in the chat. That's very nice. Right, I can't read crochet patterns either. I don't know anything about like doing it kind of like, I don't know, like more consistently. I don't know. I just know how to do like at one point when I was in first year, so this was a long time ago because apparently 2019 was a long time ago. I learned how to do a whole bunch of stitches. I learned how to do like a cute little mini octopus or whatever. And I never learned anything else. Hi, Ronan. Thank you for being here and for dyeing your hair. Being here, that's awesome. I want to dye my hair too, but I'm very like, I don't know, I get very scared about changing my appearance now. Which is funny because I had most of you would probably know, maybe not most, because as we were covering, 2019 was a long time ago. That was the last time I had blue hair pretty much. Anyway, so I was very used to doing that too. Not me, I really didn't do it. Sarah did it. Sarah's here. Yay, I'm happy you're home. Hi. How's everyone like doing with writing and just in general? I would love to catch up because it's been like a month. I'm gonna try to do the streams as often as I can until I can't really do them as often anymore because my schedule's pretty free. Again, like I'm sorry that I do them so early in the day, especially I know a lot of people are working, especially if you work like 9 to 5, it would be pretty tough and you're like on my time zone, it would be pretty tough to catch them. So I'll see if I can start doing some weekend ones too, because I think ever so often on the weekend, it would be nice. I think maybe more people could attend. Oh, you are dyeing your hair blue. That's awesome. Yeah, I remember the blue hair was so nice. I've been tempted to do it again, but I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm kind of nervous about staining my t-shirts again. I wear all black. This is really not a problem, but sometimes I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that again, but it was so cute. You just eyeball when you're crocheting too, and you could crochet such cute things. We need to talk, Ashley, because that's so, what? That's crazy. I don't know how you do that. I can't do that ever. Writing is good in general, not good at all. Oh no, is it not going well for you? I haven't done anything really this year, so I can kind of relate. It's been pretty slow. I've done a couple things, but very, very little. Charlotte says, I've decided short fiction is my only writing goal in 2024. So that is all that's going on for me. I love that. I think that's a great idea to sort of like create like just sort of like this is the goal and like I don't need to do anything else. I think I need to do that. I think create like a bit of like a stronger boundary with myself for like what I kind of want to do, and if anything else kind of shows up, then that's what I want to do. Because I mean, like I said, if you watch if you saw the podcast yesterday, I've been very anxious and about writing, and I don't really, yeah, I think that kind of setting up expectations earlier on might actually help, because the last couple of years I just kind of go into it and I don't really know what I'm doing. So instead of maybe doing like a goal for what I want to do, it's kind of maybe creating like a limit of what I want to do. Thank you for coming. A little late because my cat went crazy. I hope your cat is okay now. um, Rigor Mortis, that's a cool name, says, hi, I've been progressing more with writing recently, but it's kind of slowing down, so I hope I can write today. At least I feel that. I haven't tried. I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna try, maybe it'll be like for like one short sprint on the stream. I don't know, but I'm not really gonna treat it like a sprint. It's more gonna be like 15 minutes of like, you don't need to be afraid. Because I don't know. I've been intimidated by writing. I haven't written since the end of November. That's not really accurate. I have written. It's just like I haven't like written in the routine that I was kind of used to writing in. So before I was going to the library pretty much every single day since September. So for about 3 months I was going really, really frequently. And I'd stay there for a couple of hours. I was used to writing like a sort of amount per week or whatever, but now I haven't I haven't really done that. I'm writing a bit on my phone, which is nice. Notes app is great because there's no word count. Notes app writing is so underrated. I used to do that a lot. A lot of my books, actually, a good chunk of them were like written on my phone. Like if I go through my phone, you can find like a whole bunch of scenes from Mothwork that were started there. I just kind of fell off on it. I don't know why. Maybe it's because, when I went to university, having my laptop at all times was just more accessible than when I was in high school, when, I didn't have it with me throughout the whole day or whatever. But yeah, I find it like less anxiety inducing because I have the expectation that it is on my notes, so it doesn't need to like be anything except for like an idea. And then I want to start writing by hand. I actually have a notebook on my shelf that I meant to take down before this started. So I might have to grab that in the middle of this. Because I was thinking I might start writing by hand. Someone left a really cool comment on the podcast episode yesterday, was saying how like that also helped them sort of like step away from like the word count. Because I find, like I mentioned this yesterday, like I find word counts like really like satisfying. So sometimes like I focus on them like a lot, but not in a way where it's like I have to reach a certain word count. It's more that like when the number starts moving up, I'm like, yay. And that can sort of lead to like, I don't know, some pushing to like write more and more that I don't really need to. Basically focusing too much on word count. I don't care about word count, so it would be nice to write by hand. I haven't written by hand really since August. I wrote like a good chunk of changing states when I was in the car with my family. We were on vacation, and so I wrote a good chunk of changing states by hand, but maybe I should finish it by hand. That's what I was thinking of doing, because that's what I did for pretty much did for Hallowed Bodies too. I wrote like a part that was kind of giving me trouble by hand, and I can kind of just push past it. It's easier for me to push past by hand. I don't know why. Okay, there's so much in the chat that I'm missing because I'm just talking. Is this a game? Baldur's Gate? I got it for Christmas, so writing at all has taken a backseat. I feel that I haven't been writing at all. I don't know what I've been doing in the 12. I'm a bit sad because I had like my grandparents, like my extended family were over, and they were visiting, and then my grandma who lives with me was here, but now like everybody left. So I'm kind of like the routine has been really disrupted, and so I've just kind of been sad the last couple of weeks. So I haven't really been doing much, to be honest. What have I been doing? I don't know. Yeah, you know what? The time has passed. I'm not gonna worry about it now. Dallin says, I started the year reading a lot and brainstorming a lot instead of trying to write straight away, and I think it worked. It's easing me in. Yeah, I love that idea. I think that's sort of been my approach. I haven't been doing that much, but I wish I did a little more. But I love that idea of like, I think this is what I kind of want to take into like next year, because something I realized like in December, the same thing had happened last year, was like November was so busy with writing and December so busy with like family and like events and holidays, that it was just better for me to like take December off, not even try to worry about writing. And so when I kind of let go of the idea of like, I'm not going to write this month, that was really nice. So I'm thinking for next year, what I can kind of do is just kind of build that into my schedule, the break, and then also sort of like what you were doing with the transition into January. That would be nice. Because like what I've done is not that I've stressed myself out, which is not good. But anyway, it's okay. um, December and January have been so interesting for me. Reese says life has had me in a chokehold since the end of November, such early December, and I don't see it letting up anytime soon. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. I hope that in the next couple of weeks, in the next couple of months, you can find some lightness. I know it's so stressful when life is stressful. Like that's I don't even worry about writing times like that. Book Lover says, I hope I finally finish my first ever book this year. Oh, I hope you do too. That's so cool. Oh my gosh. 2024, I feel, something's brewing for all of us. I think it's going to be different for everybody, but I think something's brewing. Notes app writing is the best. I have a lot of I feel like most comfortable writing my strangest ideas, I think, in my notes app, because looking back on it, even since I was a teenager, I've always done that. It feels more comfortable writing kind of things that would feel kind of weird, like writing weird writing in Word or whatever. So I've been having a lot of fun with it. I need to actually go in and transcribe some things. One thing I have not touched at all since I finished it a bit in November. I finished the part. No, I didn't. I left off in the middle of a scene. Never mind. It was sunless ground. I have not touched that thing. I've had no ideas. I haven't thought about it. I am not looking at it. You know where I left off in the middle of that book? Leonard and Harrison are they're one of them is gonna kill the other one, and it's not for the reasons you think. So I kind of left them in the middle of that. I hope they're having fun. I have so many notes about my story on my phone. I can't keep track. Oh yes, it's always the organizing the phone notes can always get stressful. I have a video on that from 20, maybe it was from 2020. I can't remember. But ever so often, probably not as often as I should. I go in and I copy and paste them into a document. I'm gonna do something I'm afraid to do and open my document. One of them is open. What is open, actually? Changing states is open. Okay, so we'll start with that. I just want to look at it because I haven't really looked at it since October, and it feels weird. But also, I've been very hesitant to finish this project. I don't know why. This happens to me with every single one, but this one has been worse. When I was trying to finish Body Back, I did procrastinate it for a bit. And then when I was trying to finish Hallowed Bodies, I did procrastinate for a bit. This has been 2 months of really elongating the process. I have not touched this. But the thing is, I really want to finish it because I think it would be nice to just. But also, I'm gonna miss Jeremiah, so maybe I'll never finish it ever. I'm just kidding. It's gonna be done, but I literally have 2 scenes, maybe 3 scenes. Not even. It's half a scene. They're gonna be really short. I'm not really writing much beyond what's kind of already here. So yeah, I should work on that. But I'm maybe I'll work on something else. I don't know. T-Frog says, this year, I want to edit Cryptid Falls. I love that name. That's great, which I finished back in December. Oh, congrats on finishing that. That's awesome. Is it is that a novel? Charlotte says, I'm opening the short story I started last night in haze of listening to Talking Heads and watching Tony Bourdain. I'm scared. I feel with being scared to open a document. I don't know why I've been so intimidated by writing. In my podcast, maybe I did sound, and honestly at the time did feel like I don't love this anymore, but I think I've just been very anxious because I don't really feel like that right now. I don't feel that strongly. Hopefully maybe I've just been intimidated, and being in a space where there are other people is making me less intimidated. But otherwise, the writing process for Changing States has been really smooth. It's been very beautiful. I'm not struggling really with any part of it. It's just like it's been taking longer. I started really writing in August. So how long? August? 5 months? I don't know. That's wow. That is longer than all of them. But honestly, it's like the best out of all of the other novellas. So that's nice. And I would like to kind of finish it. Then I can kind of work on Lost Gods, which if you're like, what are you talking about? I'm sorry, I haven't introduced these projects properly. Lost Gods, it's probably gonna be another novella. I was hoping it wasn't gonna be a novella, but then I was like, I really like this and I kind of want to write it for longer than 5,000 words. So, it's probably gonna be a novella. But I'm not really writing it like with a specific process. I don't want to do this whole like very serious process again for another novella. Like I'm good. I'm very fine. I just want to kind of write it and then put it back together because I have like really strong ideas for scenes at moments and I want to take advantage of that and like kind of write them out. And it's the kind of project where I don't really need to know anything in chronological order because like it's just kind of like it's non-linear in vibe, even if it's not actually a non-linear story. What else? What else have I written? Let me open them. I have this random project. What is this? I was not meaning to pick this up. Ooh. I am very intrigued. Back when I was trying to like write a novel, like a literary novel, and it was intimidating me, I started writing a random novel in Reeve's perspective, but I have no idea what it was about. It takes place in 2002. I was really obsessed with 2002 as a year for some reason for a while in my writing. What is this? I mean, there's 700 words. Ooh, pretty details. Yeah, I have no idea what this is. I'm just gonna bye. I don't know. I just opened it. I have no idea what that is. But, that's something I want to do more of, like just doing random things, like opening documents and just writing random things. Like, oh, that's what I was going to open. The random microfiction I wrote about George Michael's faith. Hold on. We need to read that. We need to read that. This was funny because I was feeling like anxious. Typical. Typical. And I wanted to write something. And so on New Year's Eve, shortly before sort of my family like always has like a little kind of party on New Year's Eve. So before everyone got there, I wrote this random draft of a microfiction. And so this is pretty cool. I'm looking at it right now. It has a bleeding title. That's awesome. And then this is it's like a micro for changing states. I've been really enjoying like writing little projects based off of like larger projects, like kind of adapting what I've already had, kind of looking at it through different lenses, not necessarily like adding on to the story, like writing new things to the story, but kind of going over something that we already covered in the novella in this case, but like in a different lens. I find that really fun. So I did that with like this really cool poem that I wrote several months ago, I think in November. It was a love poem, and I want to continue to write love poems because I've gotten much better at writing love in the last couple of months. So I kind of want to put myself to the test and see if I can do like an entire chapbook of love poems, just a short one. The goal would be like 5 poems. Sammy says, I've been wanting to write my work in progress series, The Eternals, but the only thing I've done is gush over the characters and plots, the point of it being too much of a special interest. Okay, listen. Controversial opinion, but I feel like that's like the best part of writing. So if that's like where you're at, I mean, just stick with it. I find that really fun when like all I can think about is the voice. And something that I've come to realize is for me, it always ends that sort of period. And then sometimes it comes back but it eventually ends because everything ends eventually. So it's just kind of like nice to like soak in how fun like the special interest is. That's how I've been feeling at least. I was, oh man, I keep thinking about, I went to the library one day. It was like probably in November. And I had walked there and I was walking back and I was going to the thrift store later that day. And I keep thinking of this like really like glorious memory I had of just walking down the sidewalk and like thinking about lost gods, because I think I was listening to all like the Harrison music. I have a whole playlist. I think we talked about it last stream. For like historically accurate things that he would have been listening to in like 2005, 2006. And so I was listening to some of the songs on there and I felt like really connected. And it's like one of the parts I love about like being autistic and also being a writer is like, oh gosh, you can just be transported to a completely different world, like, but it feels so real, but like just through something very simple, like listening to a song and walking down the street. And I keep thinking about it because every single time I think of that memory, I remember what I bought from the thrift store. Like it was a very specific memory. I bought that Madonna CD. It's sitting over there. I actually haven't listened to it yet, but that's what I bought. I keep thinking about it. A couple necklaces. I keep thinking about how nice that was and how like connected I felt. And I was like, let me just enjoy this because like a couple weeks before I had the same sort of feeling. Maybe I think it might have been with Lost Gods again, and it eventually faded and I was sad about it that it faded. Then it came back and I was like, oh, that's nice. Hasn't come back yet, but I think music is kind of like an easy way to sort of like dip into it for me. So that was a bit of a ramble. I saw that you finished Black Forest Cake. Congratulations, last month, and started The Other Eye. Ooh, that's a great title, which is the partners to the story and a few other projects, but I want to be published in Lit Mags this year. That's a really great goal. Everybody's goal of wanting to be published in Lit Mags. That's me as well. I didn't really do much submitting last year, so it would be nice to get started on my poetry. I can no longer submit my short fiction, but I will submit more of my poems. So we're in it together. Charlotte says, yes, I wrote some flash fiction that is just backstory that doesn't fit in my new novel. It was so fun and low pressure. Yes, like I think this is such a fun like writing exercise to do, like writing just in little different mediums. It literally is so low commitment because I think like I also feel that way about novellas too, but novellas are still more of a commitment. Even a short story, like that's more of a commitment. But I feel like, especially like in the writing community, everybody writes novels. Like a lot of people write novels. That's like a big part of like, you know, AuthorTube. Other writing communities, it's like writing books, and writing books, it can sometimes be like, that's a lot, you know, like, and sometimes you're already writing a book, but you want to write something else. It can be hard to write just one thing. So before I would just be like, let me write several books at once. But now I'm like, well, I could just write a smaller project, like something really small, like a poem in the world, or flash fiction in the world, microfiction in the world. It's been really nice. Just sort of playing with it. And then at the end of it, like you zoom out and you have like collective lore. the pieces that don't fit, now you have a whole bunch of things that you can kind of like look at, which I think is really cool. I want to do more of that with, like, I wish I had been able to do that more, like when I was writing Feeding Habits, for example, because I cut out a lot of that book. Let's actually, do we want to go through the Feeding Habits trash pile? If you just got here and you're like, why isn't she writing yet? I did say before that I might not do that much writing in this sprint. So we might go through the document in a second. If I forget, someone remind me, but I'm going to continue going through the chat. Dallin says, the George Michael micro concept rotates in my head like a moon. That's so nice. I need to send it to you. I will, if you would like to read it. I haven't edited it yet, so it literally still has like lowercase. Like, what was slay? Like, using that word like my mom does. To me, when in the process of writing it, was like, it was just like I was writing it on my phone, but I was writing it on my computer. So like I forewent capitalization. I was not spelling things right. I didn't even look at the screen. It was kind of cool. So I was like, I want to recreate that experience of like writing on my phone on my computer, and I guess I accidentally did it here. The ending is so cool. Like, I don't want to read any of it on the stream because, like, if I ever want to publish it, I'm not sure. We'll find out if I end up liking it. But yeah, there's a mention of an Applebee's, which is fun. What's funny to me is like, none of this like George Michael lore would have existed in Changing States if it wasn't for me at the thrift store when I saw Faith, and I was like, oh, I should get this because like I needed a CD for like Jeremiah. Like the reason I went to the thrift store was to look for music like that he would listen to, and I was like, Jeremiah would listen to that, and then like it opened the whole rabbit hole, and now I'm like in my George Michael era. I don't know. We just watched a documentary like a couple of weeks ago, like over the holidays. It's really been fun. Okay, I've been enjoying it. Yes, I will send it to you. I'm glad that you want to read it. I'll send it to you. I haven't looked at it since I wrote it. I don't know why, because it's cool. You know what I think I'm gonna do? I think I'll do like your technique of like writing it out again because I think it needs that a little bit. We love the shared wham hyperfixation. I feel like the brain cell is always working. Like we're always on the same thing. Like I love that so much. It's very fun. Okay, I've been having so much fun going into like pop culture. Like I feel like I haven't like been a fan of things in a while, but like in the last couple of months of like 2023, I really got into being a fan of things, and I kind of want to continue doing that because it's so fun. Charlotte says, also, it's so fun to just surrender and let the project be what it is. Thought it was a novel, but it's actually a short story, a poem that turns into a novella. I live for that transformation. I love this take so much. Yes, I agree with you so much because sometimes it can be like, well, everybody else is writing a novel. I thought I was writing a novel, but like then it's like so much shorter than I wanted it to be. So like, what do I do now? Right. And like, in practically speaking, I can understand like if people really want to like they want to like publish a novel or whatever, like kind of working to expand it because other like shorter forms like novellas, they're not as common in publishing or whatever. But when you kind of if it's work that you don't want to publish or work that you think you can actually just sort of keep in the form that it turned out to be, I find that can like create like really beautiful things. I have been really enjoying it. I want to continue to do it, and then really like with the fostered related little stuff, I want to put it all into like a little anthology and bind it for my room. I think it would be fun. I have a name for that. Was that I think I titled that certain blood. If I find another title I like better, I'll change it. But that was for like all the random like 2018 like little short stories. Ronan says, I'm so excited to finish The Other Eye. I have to make an intro post and post snippets this weekend because it takes place in Simon's point of view, the other main character in Black Forest Cake. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, I love also doing like, you know me, obviously, you would know. I love doing projects in the same world and different points of view. It's so fun. Charlotte says, it was so fun to find your channel and get swept back into the George Michael universe because my sister and I have listened to Faith religiously since our childhood. Oh my gosh, yay! That's so fun. That's like, oh my gosh, one of my favorite albums. I can't wait to do on my personal Instagram. I do these like really annoying like album reviews, and I'm like very obnoxious about it. I can't wait to do a review for it, probably today because I have a couple that I want to look at. But it's like one of my favorite albums ever. Which is so funny because it's like a really popular album. I don't know why it took me so long to listen to it. But my mom is a huge George Michael fan. And so she was very excited. Like, you know how like, maybe I'm just like a selfish child. And so like I hog the aux cord like when I'm in the car with my parents and we hang out a lot. So we're constantly listening to music. They've had to like put up with my music taste the last couple of years. And honestly, they've ended up being fans. Like my parents love the Strokes now. Like my dad is a huge Strokes fan. My mom is too. We went to the concert together and everything. They knew all the songs. They wanted to have specific requests. They love Nothing But Thieves now. They went to the concert with me too. And like they weren't even with me. They were just like separate. So like they've like really gotten into my own music. So I think it was fun for my mom, and I think my dad likes George Michael too. To like I was getting into their music. Now they know the songs without having to be forced to listen to them for months on end. My poor family. That's how I listen to music. I will listen to the same thing every day. And it's probably one of my oldest brother when I was a teenager told me that, and I was like, listen, it's not going to change. Like I love it. I love it. It's fun. Okay. This is how I feel whenever I listen to Faith. I've been listening to Faith since September. I should have started listening to it earlier, but since September. And so I feel very like, it's very nice to sort of like, you feel like you're going through life with the album. Okay. That's how I feel about music. I love music. Okay. Sarah says something. I've just been rereading my book as fast as possible so I don't forget what I meant to be drafting next again. Literally my second or third attempt. Do you keep getting stuck in like the same spot? Like, and then you have to start over again? That's me. I really am like interested to reread. We should do it together. Maybe we could do that tonight. Do you want to do that? That could be fun. A rereading party. I haven't looked at On This Ground. I haven't looked at Changing States. I haven't looked at anything like, and so I agree with you. I want to get through it as fast as possible so then I can kind of just like propel myself through it. But then like I haven't been doing it. So I'm happy you like this title. I wasn't sure about it, but I was like, it kind of feels like them because it's like kind of like they're going to kill each other. You know, I should clarify. Alone and Harrison. I don't think I needed to clarify. Everybody knew that title was about them. Um, maybe one day there will be a Ronan Isn't Writing podcast where I just stare into the abyss and talk about how I smash my MCs together like Barbies and make them kiss. Yeah, that's fun. That'll be fun. We need more chill writing podcasts, so I would listen to that. um, Meow, Meow, is that how you say your name? I hope I'm saying it right. Just want to say that you're such a good writer and an inspiration. Was reading some of your short stories yesterday, and now I'm feeling more motivated to write. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. I really needed to hear that. That means a lot. I really appreciate it. Like all the nice comments that here and then that I got on my video yesterday, like have been making me feel better. So thanks a lot, because I've been feeling very anxious about my writing. Like I mentioned in the podcast, I feel like I don't think I can ever do this, like, which is it sounds very silly because I'm always writing. It's just been the last like 5 weeks I haven't been writing. And so it feels like I don't think I can do this anymore. I have no idea how to do it. I don't know how to start. I think I lost all my skills. I think I'm worse than I was before. I don't think I'm smart enough to ever do the things that other people I really enjoy reading can do. And so it's nice to like to hear that. Maybe I'm just like overthinking, which I think is what's happening. Me and her doing father figure for karaoke in like the 5th grade. I was listening to that this morning. I kind of love that, but that's very funny. Honestly, that's cute. I was literally listening to "I Want Your Sex" at the grocery store today. That is like the perfect song ever. That's so if I like my player's right there, that silver thing right there. If I play it right now, it's gonna be on that track because I was just listening to that track on my CD player. My Wi-Fi says that it is. I'm getting a connection is unstable thing. So if I start to come in and out, let me know. Which is so funny. The modem is right there. Like I don't know why the connection would be unstable, but yeah. Anyway, that's one of my favorite songs. Oh, it's so good. POV or me walking to the library. I always listen to that song when I walk to the library. I listen to the same song every day until I can recite every song in my sleep. Yeah, that's kind of what I do. I love like becoming friends with music. Music is a big part of my life, and so I just kind of like to get to know it, and then also like it does something to my brain. Like I kind of like am able to like take it apart, like dissect the music, and so I find that very satisfying when I can dissect it, especially if it's like the guitar and then I can learn how to play it. Like it's so fun. So Sarah says no. She stops at different spots and then forgets both when rereading. Me, I need to do that. Okay, why don't we need to make a plan. It'll be fun. Then we can finally reread together. Ronan says, I'd love a rereading party. I need to reread Black Forest Cake before revising. But so far, I like what I'm reading. Having major, oh my God, who wrote this one? Oh, that's so fun. That's so fun. I love when I don't recognize my writing anymore. It's kind of like, who is this writer who I really like? Oh, wait, it's me. Okay. So I said that I was going to open this feeding habits document. And like, let's find something. I remember there being some really good like description about like clementines in here, and we all know how like Ronan feels about clementines. It might have been oranges, some sort of citrus fruit that I want to find. Harrison like draws him at one point. I just saw the word count of this cutout document, 31,000 words. So what I was saying before I cut myself off like 20 minutes ago was like, I wish that I had like understood that I could diversify the forms in which I was writing when I was like in my late teens, because oftentimes like I just kind of got upset with like the work and then I like tossed it into this trash pile document is what I call they're not actually trash. I should probably change the name, but it's funny to me. So yeah, and I never did anything with them. So I sometimes I think like I want to go back, and I started doing this for Certain Blood, the anthology thing I'm trying to work on, to kind of save like the bits of writing that I really like, or to take the bits of writing, put them in the current projects I'm writing. Where is the orange thing that I was talking about? Why is there so many like orange in this document? Like this is not even a novel. Mandarin. It might have been a Mandarin. This is so funny. Oh yeah, yeah, there he is. That him and his citrus. There we go. No, this is funny. Why are we talking about a washing machine set in the context of Lonan? I'm very confused. What's happening? $5.99 for a washer and dryer set. That sounds like a pretty good price for two things. I don't even know how much washers and dryers cost. Charlotte says, OMG, I just wrote Tangelo imagery last night. Twins, that's so fun. I love citrus. This is such a fun, like, citrus, the sun, the moon, and the night. Like, those are my favorite things to describe, you know? How many times am I going to use the word Mandarin in like a 200 word stretch? Ooh. This is so pretty. It's describing the fruit. Why did I make that sound? That's such a funny sound. I was just very obsessed with this line. He's talking about Lonan, la la la, but the segments of the Mandarin sit unpaired like jewels. Oh, I think I was 18 when I wrote that. Oh my god, that's so good. I'm gonna bold that, and I'm gonna copy and paste that into something. Oh, to be a sad, pretty man with his citrus. Yeah, it's this whole thing. I didn't realize that that was a thing. And then I realized that I was like, I can't see it now. I love Lonan. I want to put the little fruit sticker on his forehead. I genuinely think like he would like that. I think he would find that endearing and fun because he never has fun. So I think that would be fun to him. Everybody like Harrison's idea of fun is like body back, and then Lonan's idea of fun is getting fruit stickers on his face. That's like the difference between body back and hallowed bodies. The way this is a short story about a moon the size of a Tangelo. No, I love that. That's so pretty. I love that. That's great. According to the streets, I write about food very well. Oh, yes. I love food descriptions. Food descriptions are so fun. I need to write more of them. Instead, what am I writing? I don't know. Maybe we should do some writing. Would we be opposed to doing writing to the 17 people that are still here? We don't have to if you do not want to do writing, because it's still fun to just talk. Sorry, I'm reading this thing. I'm like, what are they doing? They're what are you doing? What are they doing? They're drawing together, which is weird to me. Okay, well, I'm just gonna X that off. Okay, moving on. Down says, "What an LTG fun? Take my hand. Let's watch Jeopardy." I mean, he would say yes to that. That is literally like his dream evening. I think he really doesn't do anything in Hallowed Bodies except for that. So I think he would have so much fun. Which also sounds very fun to me too, to be honest. Something that I find really funny is I think in Hallowed Bodies I mentioned that like at the end of the book, the man who's like the other character in Hallowed Bodies brings over like movies to watch. I don't know why, because they're not supposed to be doing that. And like what I find really funny is like that he brought a copy of like the Doom Generation, and it was before I'd watched the Doom Generation. And now I can't like imagine. I can't imagine Lonan's reaction to the Doom Generation. I don't know if he would like it, but I think maybe. I don't know. Harrison definitely likes that movie. That's like a certified fave, but I think that was kind of funny. You wouldn't be opposed. Okay, we'll do some writing in a second. Let's do something short though, because I'm too scared to write too long. Oh wait, I forgot I read Garth Greenwell on your recommendation. I'm a different person. Yay, I'm so happy. I hope you liked it. What did you read? Did you read Cleanness? Did you read What Belongs to You? Both of them are really good. I need to read What Belongs to You again. I didn't like What Belongs to You as much as Cleanness, but it's not that I dislike it. It's still great. It's still one of my favorite books ever. It's just different, like slightly to Cleanness. I'm reading Giovanni's Room right now, though, and like if you are like you can tell like the inspo like is so awesome. Like if it's a very similar vein to like, Garth Greenwell. I think has a class on Giovanni's Room, so I'm assuming James Baldwin is a inspiration, and like you can kind of see it. It's really nice. I've been really enjoying it. It's great. Um, Dallin says, I'll be reading. I have a new gay novel to start. Well, I'm going to need to know. I'm very curious. What are you reading? Because that's speaking to me. I'd love to read a new gay novel. I'm trying to read more this year. I did finish that really awesome poetry collection, Flesh. I just finished it by Mary Jean Chan. It was so good. It hurt my feelings, but it was so good. It was so relatable. I loved it so much. Do I write The Other Eye or do I write Blood Orange, which is just Black Forest Cake and Twilight's Love Child? Oh, that sounds so fun. I kind of vote for Blood Orange because that sounds fun to me, but right? Whenever I read Garth Greenwell, it's like, you changed my life, to be honest. Like, does he even know? Like, my next read is one he talked about on his Substack. Okay, well, I'm very curious. I want to read it now. Charlotte says, Cleanness. I just sat there like this, getting obliterated. It's so good, right? Cleanness is so good. I've been really enjoying Giovanni's Room. I can't wait to finish it, but also I don't want to finish it because it's like really good. And I love that voice. I want to find more kind of writing because I feel like, all of Garth Greenwell's work and then, Giovanni's Room, like that feels very in the similar voice. I kind of find it kind of hard to find that voice because it's a bit more of like a classical voice. It's a bit of an older voice, so it's a bit hard to find in like contemporary literature, but I really have been enjoying it, especially listening to it. There's like a certain like cadence that I love. The Love of Singular Men. I did see this Substack. I think I just opened it, and on the first page, the sea is a long way from this book. Sometimes I'm like, do I love writing anymore? And then I read writing and I'm like, I do. That's good. Oh, okay, that's inspirational. Okay. That is giving me ideas to write something. So, I have my notebook here. Oh, I disconnected my microphone. That's very convenient of me. Great. Hopefully you can still hear me. Hold on. Okay, what's so funny is I didn't even mute. That's so funny. I was literally talking about gel pens to nobody. Thank you for telling me. I was distracted looking at my pen. Can you hear me now? I think you can hear me. I didn't even mute. I must have hit it while I was like doing something. My computer keeps disconnecting from my thing, which is making this very annoying. Hold on. Connect. Okay. I'm talking to myself, but I'm just trying to get my thing to connect again. I don't know why it's not connecting. Okay, let's see. Right when I'm like ready to write, it's like I don't want to write. Can you hear me though in the meantime? Can you hear me? I think. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Can you hear me? Yeah, you can hear me right now, but I don't want it to use this microphone. I want to use this one. Can you hear me now? I think so. I hope so. Yay! Okay. I think we're here, but I can't get my thing on my I want to get it on my monitor. I don't know why it's not connecting to that. But how about we write? Let me just see if I can let me see if I can change it to this. Cuz that would be more fun if I could see that. It's so annoying. It keeps disconnecting. Okay, fine. We're just going to have to use it like this. That's fine. Cuz I don't want to disconnect. I specifically use the better dongle to connect my camera so that my camera doesn't disconnect. Okay. Okay, let me pull up. I'm going to pull up a timer. What's so funny is like the microphone is connected, but it's not connecting to my monitor, which is annoying, but I will figure it out while we write. What did I miss? I missed Okay, I didn't miss much. Let me share this with you. How long do we want to go? I think I'll do 15 minutes because I don't want to go that long, but I also want to figure out how to get my thing connected again. Let's do 15. 15. And can we figure out how to share? Yeah. Can we? I don't know. Yeah, there we go. Present. There we go. Yay. Okay, I'm going to start this and then I'm going to fix my thing while you write and then hopefully I can write too. Okay, I will see you on the other side. Okay, we're finished. How did that go? That felt nice. I hope it went well for you. I don't know how many words I wrote because I was writing by hand. But I was actually surprised that I actually wrote anything at all. And now I'm like, oh yeah, I know how to do this. I'm kind of like, sometimes I feel like you don't remember how easy it is to actually write when you haven't written in a long time. Like, especially if you've been writing for a couple years, like I have a couple. I mean, it's actually been 10 years this year, which is crazy. But anyways, so I'm like, oh, it's instinct. It's like a thing I do know how to do. Actually, I haven't forgotten how to do this. So that's kind of nice. Ronan wrote 364 words. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot for 15 minutes. Oh my gosh, that's great. T-Frog wrote 67, but got some planning done. I feel like that's really good for 15 minutes too, like planning and some drafting too. 340 for rigor mortis. Blackberry latte. Okay, I love all these names. That's so cute. First time I've touched my main work in progress this year. Went well. Okay, same. I haven't touched this since December, I think. And back in December, it really wasn't me doing anything really much. It was probably just me tweaking something. So this is like, it's crazy how like you could just take 15 minutes, over the last like 2 weeks or whatever, and it's just 15 minutes and you finally do it. Sometimes you need to take a break. Okay. So yeah, this was kind of nice. I kind of went into flashback. I didn't really think I was going to do that. It was just kind of random flashback, which I'll take that. Scholarly coffee. I was writing by hand too. I actually kind of like what I wrote, which I haven't been feeling lately. Yeah, I think that's great. I really want to make more of a goal of writing by hand. Hopefully like not chicken scratch. Like this. My writing is very like, I try to be like my handwriting as like fast as possible, so then you can't really like read it. I don't know. Maybe you can. We got around 300 words. Okay, that's so good too. I don't know. Mine must maybe be around 150 maybe. Sammy wrote a paragraph. That's solid. Yeah, I think I wrote like 3 paragraphs, 3 kind of like regular sized paragraphs. 67 words too, but I was mostly having a snack. Listen, a snack is needed too. Ronan says, and I go back to December all the time. Yes, right? I love that song. That's a good song. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit surprised because I feel like I'm happy that I did the stream and that I like wrote on the stream, even though I was kind of intimidated to do it because this is really not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Who knew? I like know how to do that writing. It's my 10-year writing anniversary. I think I asked this on Tumblr and I said I was going to post it on here and I just haven't. So because I've just been, I don't know, behind on everything. But if you're seeing this, because it's my 10-year writing anniversary, I kind of wanted to make a video kind of talking about like how I've developed as a writer. And it won't be in like an advice video kind of way, but I was kind of curious if people had like preferences for how that kind of video looks. Like comparing, it would be comparing work because it's crazy. I have a whole 10-year backlog of writing to kind of show how I went from this to this. So if you have particular things you'd want to see in that, I've been literally planning that video since 2020, I think, but I just never got around to filming it in that time. And so I was like, instead of doing it for 9 years, I was like, let me just wait for 10 years and it's going to be 10 years this May. So yeah, I think it'll be a pretty fun video, but I'm not sure how to approach it. So I want it to be fun, but also if it is helpful, like that would be cool too. I don't know. Sammy says first sentence I wrote doesn't even make sense. Okay, like I feel like every writing session there's got to be a sentence that doesn't make sense. So it's kind of like it's just your friend now, you know. Sometimes I have sentences that don't make sense and I just leave them there. I'm like, you know what? You're doing something. You know, you're just chilling. That's fine. This is emoji pen. This is what I was talking about when you couldn't hear me. I was talking about how my brother for Christmas, got me a couple pens. So he got me this pen and then like a fountain pen. And this pen's really nice. I've never used it until like literally right now. So it's really nice. I really recommend. This is the 0.7 millimeter gel ink ballpoint pen. It's very nice. It's very, very nice. Charlotte says, I know I should make a Tumblr post about my new stuff for the Rapler, but I get nervy. Who are you on Tumblr? So do I follow you? I hope I do. Sometimes I don't know who's who, like, because there might actually be like Tumblr mutuals in the chat, and sometimes I just don't know. Because if I don't follow you, I'd like to follow you. I hope I do though. To me, the first sentence is like a faucet sputtering. Yeah, exactly. I think I have a tendency to like overthink first sentences, even if it's just like a first sentence of a writing session. And then I remember like it's just kind of like a vehicle. It's okay. It just is getting you to inside of the session. Yeah, we have the same pen. That's so cool. It's the best pen ever. Like, I guess I'm gonna be using these from now on because I really like them. Because like I said, I like to write fast, and I feel like this feels like a pencil because I like when pens feel like pencils, but it's also smooth and it's nice and it's like it's not like jelly. It's just like nice ink. Anyway, sorry, like to ramble about pens, but actually, like I shouldn't say sorry because we're writers and like most writers like pens and notebooks, right? Like it's a good pen. I recommend. Blackberry latte, which by the way, like I like that name so much and I really want to like make one. Like I've never even like I don't know if you can make blackberry lattes, but like it sounds so yummy. Okay. Maybe talking about influences that you remember from certain periods and how they affected your writing. Hey, that's really smart. I like that. Let me write that down in my notebook with my Muji pen. Yeah, influences because there's definitely specific influences and I haven't revisited some of the influences, so it would be fun to look at the influences and then like look at what I wrote and see if you can see any like obvious similarities. Influences at diff times. Yeah, that sounds good because I can already write down a couple. There was definitely like the Alexandra Bracken influence had a chokehold on me. I love Alex. I still follow her on Instagram. She's really fun and I support her work still, even though I don't read YA as much anymore. But I like Alex a lot. So we'll do that. And then like we had that like Terry moment for a bit with like Slated, which I think was like bigger in the UK. But I wonder if other people read it too. That was such a good series. I love that one. Like Fostered, I'm sure if I reread all the series, like there's gonna be like a scene for scene ripoff. And then like obviously like Emma Klein. Emma Klein like changed everything, I think, for a while. Eliza Robertson, which if you didn't know, I interviewed Eliza for my campus's I have to put it on my link tree actually. For my campus back when I was doing the lit mag there. And I interviewed her, which was crazy because she's like my favorite writer, and that was nerve-wracking. But she was really nice. And that was a really great interview. And then who else? Obviously Garth Greenwell. And that's like probably the influences, like the major influences, I think, for certain periods that I can think of right now. But that's a really great idea. How do I not follow you on there? I feel so bad because I recognize your username. I feel terrible. Okay, I'm gonna go follow you right after this. That's great. Okay, I will definitely. I'm gonna follow you back. I feel so bad. Sammy says I haven't been on my Writeblr on Tumblr in a long while because I don't write as much. Okay, that's fair. I haven't been super active on there in the last couple of weeks. I don't know why. Maybe because I haven't been writing and I don't know. I just haven't been posting that much, but I'm very active still on Tumblr. I'm always on there every day. So T-Frog says, for me, the first sentence of a story or something is like the wildest thing I can think of. I love that approach. Like, pull them in, go really hard on the first sentence. It can be fun to have something like really like out there that's like very intriguing. I can't think of my favorite first sentences lately. I'll have to think about that. I feel that. I think how I kind of like with the imposter syndrome with like posting my writing, but like especially on Tumblr, because like your writing is like very viewable on Tumblr, because like it's obviously you're posting the writing on YouTube, like I'm reading it. So for me, sometimes it's not as scary. I just kind of just hit post. Like as long as it's something that I'm like comfortable, like just hitting post on, I think there's like a good way to like differentiate is like something that I'm very comfortable hitting post on versus, but it would still make me uncomfortable to hit post, but I'm still comfortable hitting post on it versus something I'm not comfortable hitting post on. Like then I wouldn't do that. But that actually helped me in the first little while, sort of figuring out what I wanted to share. And even now, um, oh, I had a blackberry coffee from McDonald's once. Wasn't good. But to be fair, it was McDonald's and I don't like blackberries. Okay. Well, I would love to learn how to make it at home because that sounds so good. That sounds so good. I didn't even know they make those. Maybe they have syrups because I have a whole bunch of syrups. I just don't have a blackberry one. Now I'm very interested to try it because it sounds really good. I sound like Harrison now talking about coffee. Oh God. But you know, that's the one thing I'll allow myself to be similar to him in is that, you know, we both like coffee. So I have a lavender syrup, which is really awesome. And then one of my friends was like, you gotta try like a lavender latte. And I was like, why is this actually good? Like it tastes exactly how you think it would. It literally tastes like lavender. So if you have like bath soap that smells like lavender, it literally tastes like that in coffee. And it's really it's good. Like for some reason I like it. And then what's another one that I have? I have like a cupcake frosting one that's really good. And it's like pink, which is probably like a whole bunch of like food coloring, but it's fun. um Dalton, oh hi, thank you for being here. Says I used to make it a habit of including the first couple of sentences in my story outline. It helped with not overthinking it so much. Oh, that's really smart. Yeah, I think anything like that sort of like takes the pressure off. I think so much of the writing process can be like, oh, this is so scary. And so whatever I can do to make it less scary, I think is like that's what I'm trying to do more of. I want to make a post about my special interest work in progress, but I'm scared people will ruin it for me or that will be stolen by AI. I haven't worried about the AI thing. Do you guys want to hear this funny comment I got today? I think some people saw it today, which is so funny on this YouTube short that I posted. It was such a funny thing. It was also about AI. Somebody left the comment. Let me see if I can find it. It was so funny. If I were you, I would focus on finding another career, being as AI is already doing it better than you read the writing on the wall. Don't cry about it when you're broke. That was funny. I try not to think about the AI thing and I wouldn't worry about that. Yeah, but I thought that was a funny comment. Just reminded me of that. But scared people will ruin it for me. I'm always about like just share what you want to share. If you don't want to share it, then if it would make you more uncomfortable to do it than to actually do it, then you don't have to. You can also like share about like the project without like sharing the actual writing too. I love reading like brain dumps on Tumblr. It's really fun. Kayla says lavender lattes are the best. I think so too. They're really good. Like I said, they taste exactly how you think they would taste. So if you really don't like the smell of lavender, you probably wouldn't like the taste because it literally tastes the way it smells. But like it tastes good. Like it's good. Yeah, you saw that comment. Yeah, were you the one who replied to it? I think that was really funny. It's a funny comment. Posting writing on Tumblr or anywhere, to be honest, is so fun, but also so scary because it's nice to share things, but then it's also scary because people can read what you've written. Yeah, it is scary. I think something, if you're scared about it too, you can turn off reblogs now, which is nice. Like, and then you can like delete it, and then no one will know it was there if you are too uncomfortable to share it. But sometimes there are like community events that might make you more comfortable to share. But you never have to share if you don't want to share. That's one thing about writing. If you just want it to be for yourself, that's fine too. And you can also interact with people without having to share your writing as well. I love Tumblr snippets. They feed me something vicious. I haven't shared anything on there in a while. Oh gosh, it's been a while. I haven't been that consistent since like October. Not for like any particular reason. I don't know. I haven't been writing anything interesting. I think. But yeah, okay. I love the idea for that video. I have my influences written down. I'll try to think of other things that I can do as well for that video. Kind of sharing. I thought what would be helpful is sharing writing that's similar, but I don't know how much of writing I can find that's similar. But I'm kind of trying to prepare these things in advance because time moves really fast and I never remember. And then I'm like, oh no, the thing passed, and then I don't have time to do it. So I thought I would get started on that now. Down says, when a story is a special interest, it can be weird to share about it because you have such a deep specific love for it. Like I'm pulling out my heart and posting it on Tumblr, but people are very nice. Yeah, I agree with you too. It can, so that's why I'm like, if you're not comfortable with it, like there's no need to like share. I think, there's like, because there's so many communities, it could feel like you have to share, but you don't have to share your writing, especially if it is like a special interest. It can be really tough to share. I think I've been sharing for so long that I don't really think about it as much anymore, but sometimes there are particular things that I still kind of keep to myself. And I think that's fine too. But writing as a special interest can have like different like it can have a different experience. So if it also impacts if you want to share, that's totally normal, I think. And I feel that too. Because it's funny, like people, even though I haven't published any of my work, I've shared so much of it that like you would know about it. Like it's pretty easy to learn a lot about it. Which is funny because in my head it's like it's my thing. It's like it's my special interest. That's like my number one special interest. It causes me a lot of grief. But that's my number one special interest. So it can be hard to figure out, the balance. So whenever, I mean, just follow your gut on that one or whatever, try something, see how you feel about it. And yeah, there are ways to make it more, like to feel like you have more control over it too. So if it's like, you don't want other people resharing it, you can turn off reblog, stuff like that. Has made me feel better. Or not posting on my main account. It's made me feel better too, where there aren't as many people. And I think, yeah, the community is very nice. I've had interactions with really great people. I mean, I've met a lot of very nice people on Tumblr. So, Blackberry Latte says, personally, one influence that I know changed my writing deeply is the video game Pathologic. The dialogue is so yummy. I haven't heard of that, but I love yummy dialogue. I love describing writing as delicious in some form. It's a very specific way to describe it, and when you say it, I know what you mean. Charlotte says, yeah, I'm not really huge on sharing excerpts, but talking about the craft, venting, hyping each other up, that's why not. Yeah, I think there's also fun ways to do it, like even like sharing aesthetics, talking about characters, but like not sharing the actual writing. I think that's fine too. I have a lot of fun doing both. I miss doing my writing updates. They take so long that I forget, and then like time moves, and then I'm like, it's been 5 months since I last shared a writing update. So kind of doing more casual things is, you don't have to be super serious about it either. I shared this. Yeah, I think we don't want to go on there. It is a funny place to be. Yeah, I think now that I've written this much, whatever this is, I think I'm feeling much better, which is good. So I think what I can do after this and tomorrow, because I'm very close to finishing Changing States, is I can just finish it sort of by hand because there's really not much to do. For me, I think that like, does anyone relate to this? Like, especially when you're writing projects that's personal to you. I kind of think I had like an internal journey with Changing States, and I think it already ended almost. Like, not that like I don't want to write it anymore, that I'm tired of writing it, because like I'm not. I love, who could be tired of Jeremiah? But I think like there's like an emotional arc I feel when I'm writing, and sometimes that ends a little early. And I think my emotional arc with Changing States ended like a lot earlier than it was supposed to, which is weird. And it's not that I don't love it or that I feel like, disconnected from it. It just feels different. I think it kind of ended. If you follow me on Tumblr, did I not post the podcast? I haven't published the podcast on here where I read this excerpt, but I think I did read it in my reading video. If you saw that, Bun, the excerpt about it ends the part what is it? His Eyes Are a Sky excerpt. I feel like my sort of journey with Changing States, the internal journey, ended after I wrote that. Like, I remember the day very vividly. I remember writing that very vividly, the sun, how it looked, how my walk home looked. And I don't really remember kind of writing past that. So I feel like that's sort of where the emotional journey ended, which is really funny because like there's a lot of the book that comes after that point. And so it's kind of like maybe that's why I haven't really been as driven to finish it because it kind of feels finished, but it's like on the page, it's not finished. I don't know. Does anyone feel the same way? I don't know. I feel always posting extras on my side blog, then deleting them. The after hours content. Yes. The side blogs are so fun. um, Stage fright. What stage you have 40 followers? Post the ramblings. Honestly, that's been me. I think I've been kind of intimidated too. I don't think you're alone in that either. Uh, Ronan says my emotional arc with Black Forest Cake changed when I left my old job. Very angry arc. Yeah, I think yeah, maybe they're just tied to like seasons of life, and then also I think physical seasons. I think I really grasped onto Changing States as a late summer project, which makes sense because it is like a late summer book. Like, I mean, it doesn't take place in August, but it does take place in sort of the tail end of like the late summer in September. So I think after September, I don't know when September ended. I mean, I did a lot of the work in October too, but maybe I don't know. For some reason, I just feel like it sort of ended. But the project is still here. It's not gone away yet, which I'm not saying I want it to go away. I mean, I'm probably not going to write another story in Jeremiah's point of view. I don't really have any ideas. I'm not saying that as like a definitive because, you know, I always say these things. I'm not going to write any liar. So yeah, but I don't have any ideas like consistently or you know at the moment that are calling me. I don't really know what else I would write in his point of view. I think his main story was this one. Whereas like Harrison has so much wrong with him that I could write so much about it. But yeah, so I kind of just want to, even if it's kind of like it's just kind of here the project, I want to take my time finishing it. Though, you know, I might romanticize the end a little bit. I think it would be fun to do some like really pretty writing session or something. I did that with Hallowed Bodies, and Hallowed Bodies was such a like a painful thing to write for me, and finishing it was like a really beautiful experience because I was like in a cottage, like, and the cottage like overlooked the water. Like ours didn't, but like the neighbors did, so you could see from the it was very nice. Like you could see like the Lake Erie from there. It was really nice. And then the moon was so pretty, and then there's like a cornfield, like oh, so nice. So like I couldn't see any of that when I was writing the end of Hallowed Bodies. All I saw, you know, was the table. But like I knew it was there. So the backdrop was very nice. I think finishing stuff for me is hard and starting stuff for me is hard. So I think like kind of taking care of myself by doing like really nice things when I'm either starting or finishing something, it makes it a little easier. Um Charlotte says, I wrote almost my entire novella staying at my parents' house, and now that I'm back to my own place, it feels like it's done. Like you're saying, like, no, she needs another job. Yeah, you know what? Now that I think of it, like that's exactly what happened with Body Back too. Like I mentioned this in a video. It felt like I left something behind because like that project I started at school, which by the way, it's almost been a year. If you want to feel like times move fast, just an announcement that it's almost been an entire year next month since I started Body Back, which is crazy. I remember celebrating the 1 month anniversary, and that felt like a long time. But yeah, I remember moving back home. I hadn't finished it. I had 2 chapters to go, and that's why it was so hard to write. Because yeah, the emotional arc of like the actual writer's emotional arc had sort of ended. Hallowed Bodies kind of came back alive. It kind of died really fast. It was like dead on arrival, but then like was revived when I went to typical like Lonan behavior, being revived in, you know, the rural summer. um, yeah. But yeah, it's interesting how much like I think especially like for stories you're very attached to, especially for stories that are like special interest. I haven't had this as much with like other stories, but stories that are special interests, like the time period like matters a lot because they're like a lot about my life too. He does have so much wrong with it though. Like I can't wait to write more of Lost Gods. It'll be fun. I have to continue to I have more I can share on my side blog probably today. Um some really really strange things are happening in that story, which is fine. Like I have no idea what it's about. Like I had no idea besides like the very base log line that Harrison is like sad and like his mom has left him for a week in Manhattan. I don't know what else is gonna happen, and I think that's what's making it easier to write because there's like no idea. Like Changing States had a concept like earlier on, Hallowed Bodies had a concept early on, Body Back had sort of a concept early on, but this one is very floaty. So I've just been kind of like enjoying writing random bits and pieces of it. And then what I want to do is like kind of piece it back together. I don't know, like stitch it together. Um, okay, I need to read this. Now, the character voice in Paul Takes the Form of a Mortal Girl was kind of Harrison Court 21 years old and a mess. Pop culture, right? Okay, so now I need to read that immediately. I have a hold on it, but it's gonna be a long time. But like, I really want to read it, so maybe I will buy a copy. um, Scholarly Coffee says, I have fond memories of writing one of my fave chapters alone on a bench in Central Park during finals. I was having a slight breakdown, but like in a therapeutic way. Yeah, I feel you. That was me finishing Hallowed Bodies. I wrote a lot of it by the water, like real, like legit at the lake shore. Like if I moved a little bit closer, like I would have been in the lake. um and I feel that with like writing and having a slight breakdown, but like in a therapeutic way, that was me. And I think creating those memories is really lovely. I have strong memories of writing a body back in my school's cafe. Like we had like a cafe in the library, but late at night it was like 8 or 9 p.m. and I'd be there and everything would be closed and there would be a couple students studying, and that's kind of how I associate writing body back. And then how I associate writing Hallowed Bodies is like mostly being outside. I wrote it like my family has a deck. I film videos out there sometimes, so being out there all day and then also like finishing it in that nice sort of lakeshore setting. And then Changing States is like writing it at the library and then writing some of it in the notebook. That feels really nice too. So yeah, I think creating those memories is so important for my well-being as a writer, because then I look back on them and I feel very nice. Marin or Marin is literally sitting in the Scrivener file rotting. She needs to be revived, but short stories are calling me. Sorry, Queen. That's going to be me soon because I need to work on short stories too, and I don't really have anything else to work on that's long form, you know, after I finish Changing States and then Lost Gods. I'm not really taking that seriously. So, the page-long George Michael music video. And I'm gonna die. I need to read that right now. You're not helping the I'm gonna go on the bookstore. And then the thing is, there are many other books that I want. So it's gonna be add to cart, add to cart, add to cart. Oh man. But it'll be worth it. I think I will really like that. It sounds really cool. I mean, like George Michael music video analysis. That sounds so sick. I need to write more often at the lake, right? I haven't written anything else by the water since then, but like I want to take advantage of that when it gets warmer. Because it's so fun. It's very, very, very nice. I felt very at peace. I think my mom has a couple pictures of me sitting there, and I had this like tiny notebook, and so it was really cute. And it was fun. It's just relaxing. Who knew being in a relaxed setting could make you relaxed? Hello, hi Agnes. We were just talking about writing and like I don't know, like having locations to write and how fun that could be, and like having memories associated with writing a particular project. And we had just done a writing sprint. I don't think we're gonna do another one, maybe, but I don't know. I doubt it. I think we're just gonna chat now. I'm sorry to the people who are like they really, really, really want to write on these. And then I talk the whole time. I like talking. I'm sorry. I need to write more places, but I might end up writing at the bar. I mean, that sounds very Harrison core. So whatever that says, that could be fun. Um, I want to open. Lost Gods and see how it's doing. How's it been going since I last opened you many, many, many weeks ago? The vibes are just sometimes I don't know how to capture the vibes that I think. I don't know if I've ever done it like with a project. The vibes that I think of. Maybe I have. It's hard to say after you're so far away from that initial spark of what the idea is supposed to be. By the time you actually write the thing, it's hard to remember if that was what you wanted. But because it's so early, Lost Cause is so early in the process, I'm very aware of what the vibes are, and like the playlist is so good that I listen to. I'm gonna pull it up on Spotify. Spotify, I don't like you at all, but I love you at the same time. There's some really good stuff on there. Oh, I can't. I'm gonna listen to this like after this. That'll be fun. Like it upsets me that we're so similar because it's like, yeah, I would listen to all of these things, and the reason why they're all on a playlist is because I like all these songs. But it's like, do I have to be him? I wrote like 2K in the library once and I ended up editing out most of it, but it was so fun. Yeah, it's the fun of going somewhere and writing. Like, I used to hate writing in public. I would feel like very watched and I would feel kind of like paranoid that people were looking at my screen and everything. And then I don't know, I just started doing it last February. I started going out to coffee shops on campus because I forgot that you could leave the house. Like, I don't know if anybody else experienced that because of COVID, but I forgot that you could socialize and leave the house. And so it only dawned on me in February of 2023 that I could start doing that. Um, you know, and so I did start leaving the house a little bit more. And that felt very nice. So I kind of got used to the feeling of, you know, writing in public. And now I'm more comfortable with it. But since then, I have not left the house again. I don't, besides going to like the library, I would like to go to more coffee shops. In the summer, it's a goal of mine. Agnes says, I'm so chatty on these streams. I associate writing one of my projects with being curled up in bed and birds screaming in the morning because I wrote it all on my phone. Oh, that's such a beautiful memory. I love having memories. I love sharing these. Oh my gosh. Yes, please share more of your memories, your writing memories, because this makes me feel so nice. Do you guys want to hear one of mine? Another one of mine? I love the idea of like hearing the birds, by the way. That is like, because sound is such a big trigger for memory. But when I was a kid, I had just started writing a couple months before, which is crazy because at this point I'd written like a billion novels because I was undiagnosed autistic. But it was, I think, in maybe February of that year. And it was 2015 and I was 13 and I was writing book 2 of Fostered. And that was like narrated by Reeve, and like at the time, like her and Foster were like on a plane or something. Like, because Foster used to be a much bigger character when they used to be love interests, which is so weird to me now. Ew. That doesn't work at all. But back then, it used to be them. And I remember it was like a snow day. And so I started the day by making a giant, like, those like cups you can get at the movies. Like, it was the Hunger Games one. It was for Mockingjay. We had probably just seen Mockingjay. I think it came out a couple months before then. So that's giant Mockingjay cup. And I made a giant thing of green tea, like iced green tea. And it was a snow day because there was a storm. And I wrote 7,000 words that day. It's like, and I remember being in my room, not this one, but the one I used to film in all the time when I used to share a room with my sister. And I remember looking out the window and it was snowy. And it was crazy. 7,000 words. And oh my God. Wow. Man, those were the days. And it was a whole like segment of like them going to an airport and being on a plane. And then like people were trying to kill them. It's a whole bunch of things, like 7,000 words. It was so fun. That was one of my favorite memories. I still remember, even though it's been almost 10 years. T-Frog says, I need to write on public transportation more because I get so much done. Favorite writing memory is writing like 4 chapters on a train. I love that. That's so nice. Yeah, when I was flying to school, I love remembering like being on transportation. I remember when I was going to the open house for my university before I was jaded with academia. This stream is trying to kill me. My technology hates me so much. My computer literally just died. Like, no warning, it just died. I hope you can hear me. Right as I was talking about academia, of course, academia just ended everything. Oh my god. The academia did get me. This stream is so funny. So I was saying, when I was flying to school, I remember writing on the plane before the academia got me, and I still remember all the things that I wrote on the plane. It's so funny. Oh man, I literally was like, "Are you kidding?" When my computer just turned off. I'm gonna catch up on these comments though. I was like, I'm not ending the stream. Like, are you kidding? My computer's trying to kill me. The one day I use my computer again, because I haven't been using this, because I haven't been doing anything the last 2 days. It was like, why doesn't everything that could go wrong go wrong? I do recommend going to the library and writing, but I also know like what you mean by not walking, because like the minute it starts snowing, I'm not going anywhere. I will be at home all day. I need to get my license. um I'm so behind now, but I'm gonna catch up on all these comments. Not to enable Paul takes the form of a mortal girl more, but I opened it for Loverboy inspo, and there's a line. He enjoyed his various reputations. Freak party boy New Yorker. That's his bio. Like Harrison's Instagram bio. Freak party boy New Yorker. I love the idea of Harrison like calling himself a New Yorker. Like I've never thought of that before, but I mean, I don't know why, because that would be so funny. I think to me, that's really great. um, Talent says, first day of Nano, I wrote in a bird watching hide on the lake. In the first sentence alone, like everything you've done here, like beats all of my experiences. um, wrote on a bird watching hide on the lake, and there was a very avid bird watcher there in full camo and with a telescope. I was a bit like standing man emoji because I didn't want to disturb him. Oh, that's so nice. That's awesome. Oh wow. A watching hide on the lake. That's so cool. Oh man. I can imagine that's like a short story. I feel like you could write a short story about a writer who went to write and there was like an avid bird watcher at the bird watching hide on the lake. That's a cool like microfiction idea. Savvy says, I associate my work in progress with the show The Vampire Diaries because originally it used to be a fanfic, but then it turned into a different lane. It became a different world. Oh, that's so cool. I love making things your own and also like associating like writing in general with like other media or like moments in life. Oh, it's so fun. It's so fun. Um oh man, the academia comments have got me laughing. This is so funny. I was like, let's just chill on a Friday. My computer is just trying to kill me the whole time. Ronan says, I don't remember. It's doing it again. There's like a pop-up. Leave me alone. I'm just trying to hang out. I don't remember writing a lot of Black Forest Cake, but I'm more present in the other eye. And I wrote something and realized Simon thinks he's too big for love. And I just thought, oh no. Oh, Simon and Harrison need to talk, I think. Oh man, I know what you mean about like not remembering and like not being as present in one project. Like that was me with Hallowed Bodies. I don't remember writing it at all, like really. But I'm so happy that you're feeling more present in the other eye. I love that as a goal. You know how writing goals are always like, write 20,000 words, do this, finish a novel. I love the goal of just be more present. I'm gonna do that. I think that's gonna be my goal for this year. In anything I do, I don't care how it turns out. I just want to be present in the process. That's cool. I need to try writing in more interesting places, but so far the memories this convo is sparking is waking up in the middle of the night with a plot twist, writing it in my notes app back to sleep. Oh, that's nice. Oh man. I love those, like when you look at like the timestamp on the note, it was like 3:53 a.m. and you're like, what was I thinking in my sleep? But then I always get my coolest ideas. But something that used to happen to me a lot was I would be writing notes. Like when I was writing moth work, I used to write notes like to fall asleep, which is so writer of me. I would like be on my phone typing and then eventually I'd fall asleep. So I would like sometimes end off in the middle of a word and it would just be like, la 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 la. I know there's one with like Lonan's name and there's just like a key smash, like his name and then a key smash smooshed together. It's really funny. I should print those out because they're quite funny. Yeah, I want to go out to write, but it's currently -33 here. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Oh, I haven't had to experience temperatures of that cold in like so long. I have been really like living on Vancouver Island. Like I was very spoiled. Very, very spoiled. It hasn't been cold in Toronto, which is kind of concerning, you know, in terms of climate. But I remember it used to get pretty cold. No, I don't know if it was that cold, but I think one time it was like -30 something here. It felt like that. Anyway, so stay warm. That's the most important part. Agnes says, I just enrolled in a program and that will give me license certifications. I just want to drive to coffee shops and the gym, right? Yeah, I need to get my license. I've been avoiding it since I was 16. So why not avoid it for another bajillion years? Agnes's work in progress perfection I associate with a movie I absolutely loved, despite it being pretty forgettable plot wise. What movie? I'm kind of curious. I love movies. I'm trying to watch more movies. All the movies I've been watching lately, it's in two categories. Either it is a Liam Neeson movie or it's like an indie film. And I've been enjoying that. I love watching action movies and like anything where like people like there's like a lot of like fighting. I love movies like that. I don't know if that's like, do I give that energy? I don't know. I just like movies like that. I can't do like ghost horror movies. Any kind of horror movie, but not like one that has a ghost is okay. Psychological thrillers I like. But yeah, movies where people are getting beat up, they're pretty fun. We could do a crossover. That would be fun. And yes, I do think that would lead to some bad decisions probably between them. How is it that I could start a story but never be able to finish what I wrote? I feel you. I think finishing things is hard because I think we underestimate how difficult it is to say goodbye to something. Because for me, sometimes I'm like, oh, the ending is giving me a hard time. Then I realized it wasn't really the ending because I knew what needed to happen. It was just more like was I ready to like be done with it? Because like being over like a process is hard, and then having to start a new one can be hard. Sammy says, my main character Sam is too sappy over his mother because she's gone, and every book he's sapping over her and crying. I'm like, okay, we get it. Let's move on to the actual plot. Oh no. Oh man, that was kind of like me in Body Back. I feel that. Yeah, I love the Liam Neeson movies. They're very fun. I watched one that wasn't good recently though, and I was like, no, this is not fun. But I watched the one with Vera Farmiga in it because I love Vera Farmiga. I mean, I was a Bates Motel person, and that one was pretty good. I mean, all of the Taken movies, those are the best movies ever. Charlotte says, I'm in such a movie slump too. I finished my James Bond fixation and I haven't known joy since. I feel like I finished my Gregor Rocky fixation. I could start it again though. And now I'm like, I haven't watched anything that's really been that interesting lately. I did watch Saltburn though. I liked Saltburn. I will say that. It wasn't great, but like it was good for other things. I think I really liked it. I hope you can find that joy again though, because entering into like a space where like you're really excited about something, that's so fun. Okay, it's Next Gen on Netflix. I think I saw that one. The villain plot I connected with a lot, and I stole his character. Okay, Slay. Ronan says finishing is hard. I haven't even been able to finish a crochet project. Black Forest Cake is the first thing I finished in over a year. Oh wow, yeah, no, it's hard. It's like ending things is always hard. It's like starting things and ending things. That's why I like being in the middle, because you don't have to start anything and you don't have to finish anything. That's why I like being in the middle. But finishing things I think is harder. I mean, no, starting things is harder, but finishing things is like another hard that I don't even know how to describe. It's just as difficult. Saltburn visuals went crazy. I loved it. Yeah, I watched it without having any idea what it was about. So Googling it after and finding out, was it a psychological thriller? I don't know what it was supposed to be, but I had no idea what it was. So it was fun to watch, and it was really beautiful. And I love the 4:3 aspect ratio. I saw somebody like commenting on it, and they were like, it's pointless and makes no sense. And I was like, it's beautiful. Okay, I love it. I love it. Give me a box. Like I love that aspect ratio. It was so exciting. I didn't know it was filmed in 4:3. I think it was the aspect ratio. I didn't know, and so I was very excited. The Felix jump scare every single time his name was mentioned, I was like, oh my god, my best friend Felix. It was so fun. Mostly only watched because I was like, who is this other Felix? Like, does he measure up? I wouldn't say. I think I have a favorite Felix. It wasn't Felix from Saltburn. Saltburn is on my queue. Charlotte says, waiting on my friend to watch it together, though. It sounds up my bizarre alley. Okay, I won't spoil anything. But it was really nice. I liked it. It was very fun. I think I don't know. There were things that I would have done differently, but like, I mean, it wasn't my art. So. I think I had a good review of it. I put it on my side blog for some reason instead of like Letterboxd. And I think that pretty much sums up my thoughts, but I won't say because I don't want to spoil it. I feel like Saltburn's going to make me want to wash my eyes with bleach just from what I've heard. You know what? Because I've been reading so much, like, I don't know, literature that is like very open, I was not even fazed. Like, I was like, okay, Open Up Cleanness by Garth Greenwell, you know, like it was just kind of fun for me. But I think, yeah, it would depend on kind of what you typically watch or read. Right? This is what I feel. Yeah, average scene in my notes app. Yeah, that's how I felt. I was like, I saw people commenting about it. Like someone was like, that was so weird and bad. And I was like, I'm gonna put my writing away now. Agnes says, my work in progress was my hyperfixation. I really want to take my time with it though. I feel that. Yeah. Like I think I really like rushed through everything in 2023 because I was like anxiety driven. And I kind of want to do less of that, I think. I want to take my time, sort of absorb into the project more, even if it's like just thinking about it more. I really miss the idea of just thinking about something rather than like having to actually execute it constantly. Whenever Emerald Fennel wanted to make commentary on, she didn't, but gosh, she made a stutter. Yeah, I didn't think of it as commentary or anything, because like I said, the parts that we're probably all talking about without spoiling, I didn't get that. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So I just kind of ignored that part. T-Frog says, I remember when I finished my first work in progress, it didn't even hit me for like 3 weeks. I kept trying to go back and finish it, but it was done. I know, that was like me when I finished Seventh Virtue. I was like, what do I do now? It's such a like a bittersweet experience. Because sometimes all I can think is like, I want to finish it. I want to finish it. The day you finish it, you're like, Oh no, I want to write more. um, the soundtrack bangs. I keep going back to pretend by MGMT because yeah, time to pretend. I just added that onto because I forgot about that song because I have kids. Kids is like a I think they're all from the same EP. Kids is like a really big song that was like of my childhood because my uncle made like a whole family video to that song. My uncle's a millennial, and so it was so fun. So when I heard, I always associate MGMT with my uncle. So when I heard it, I was like, no, how did I forget to add this song? So I added that to the Harrison playlist. Is what I'm saying. So the whole soundtrack is so good. It was a good movie. I want to watch it again. Maybe I'll watch it again tonight. I don't know. I like rewatching and rereading things a lot. I keep being terrorized by the connection is unstable thing. It's not going away. Please don't cause me any more technical difficulties. I've endured enough. Arna says starting's been easy for me, but finishing makes me itch. If I RP with someone, a start is hard because I'm like the start's gotta be perfect, but otherwise starts are just there to get the ball rolling. I think that's how I feel. The start is really, really difficult until it's not, but I think the ending for me has more of like a long-term difficulty. Is this how you say? I don't even know how. I have no idea how to say their name. Is that I don't know. Agnes says, I wrote so many words and I don't remember most of it. And it's sad. No, no, I'm sorry. I feel you. I feel you. Sometimes though, those projects are like, it's so nice you can like reconnect with them a couple years, like years or months later, you can reconnect with them. And then it sort of like closes the loop for me. That kind of happened. Well, that's happened to me with a lot of my projects. I think the ones that I've struggled through, when I can reread them in a better state, like then it's like, okay, it's done. Dallin says it captured the worst of obnoxious rich English uni students perfectly. I can tell you that much. Which is funny because Emerald Fennel is so rich. The call is coming from inside the house. Okay, well, I mean, I thought it was really fun. Like I said, I had no idea what it was going to be about. Saltburn is what we're talking about. But it was just very fun. I watched it. I don't remember. Was it last week? It was very fun to watch and then very fun to think about. As long as I don't think about the things that I didn't like I really liked it. I'm not very critical about media or like books anymore. Like critical, not like when I need to be critical, but like critical as in like if I don't like something, I don't really care. I just kind of like enjoying things. So I kind of just focus on that now. So even though it was like not perfect on paper, like my recollection of it is perfect. Does anybody else feel that way? Like even if I don't like something 100%, just thinking of my experience of it is like, well, I like this, you know. I haven't seen it yet, but I felt similarly about the menu. Like I can tell you're trying to make a statement, but the execution is not it. I have no idea what the statement was supposed to be with Saltburn, if that says anything. Oh, I was like, I thought I was missing something. This makes sense. Okay. The MGMT song in Saltburn is in the first episode of The Magicians, a sci-fi show I've been obsessed with since 2017. I haven't heard of it. What's it about? I'm curious. I mean, I'm not employed, so I'm looking for things to do and things to watch. So actually leave your recommendations. Speaking of unemployed 2 hours into the stream, if you need an editor and want to hire me, I'm going to start being very annoying about my services because I would love to work with you. I really enjoy freelancing, but I did recently increase my prices though. So if I'm not getting bites, I might have to revisit. But I was trying to make like a more fair rate, but also be like accessible. So we'll kind of see how it goes. And then also I'm going to try to do a video series, like showing you how to edit them anyway. If you don't want to like hire me, that's fine. I will show you how to edit. But yeah, that's my thing. It's in my YouTube descriptions. My little plug 2 hours into the stream for the 13 people still here. Thank you. Farley is an underrated king for me. He was so fun. I support his wrongs. I thought so too. I thought he was a really, really fun character. I want to see like a whole thing. about him. It was a fun movie. Now I want to watch it again. Agnes says, ending something is just so emotional for me. Perfection is a work in progress based on a trash fire of a project in January 2023, and I'm going to write shorts of the characters, Harrison and Loon type stuff. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. I love, like, I mean, I've been saying it. I love doing little baby things for my characters. It can be so fun rather than like having to do like a whole book. Like, I don't think if I can avoid writing a whole novel for a while, that would feel very nice. What is the menu? I've heard of it, but is that the thing everybody's talking about? The show everybody's talking about? I don't know. Ronan says, I want to freelance, but I don't know if I have the street creds. Yeah, I mean, I just started. I've been doing it for like a year or so, a little over a year. I think I started in 2022, September or so, probably a little bit earlier. I can't remember. But yeah, I find it a lot of fun and it's very rewarding. And I've really enjoyed working with all the clients I've worked with so far. So if you're looking for an editor, I do currently edit short stories and chapters, but we can talk about doing longer things too, because I have set rates for things anyway. So I have heard very good things. I've been sorry. Agnes says, I've been eyeing the editing service, but I'm a baby who's afraid of social interaction. Don't be afraid. If you want to work with me, you can also just message me before if you want to talk about like kind of like what you're looking for, what I'm looking for, if that would make it easier. But there's no pressure ever. T Fark says, I've been rewatching The Sandman lately. That show is really good. I heard really good things is what I was saying about that show. So I'm kind of curious. Do not recommend it because of season 4/season 5. Was this for the Magicians? I think. Yes, I think. Was it? I'm kind of curious. Dallin says, sometimes I just want to hang out with a character like a coffee date. But the coffee date is them spiraling within a short story length. Yeah, I love that. And I haven't been able to do it because every single time I'm like, I want to write a short story. I end up writing a novella. So maybe this year, like maybe that could be our like brain cell goal. Like, let's see if like the brain cell could do it together. That would be so fun. I like I said, love writing little bits and pieces because you can learn so much about a character just by seeing. I saw somebody talk about it today. Was it the judge of, I think the Malahat Review has a contest for novellas right now. I'm very tempted to submit one, but I'm not going to do that. But I think the judge might have said something in an interview about how it might have been I think it was from that. I might be wrong though. Some novellas, like you fit novel length ideas into a novella, and then some ideas are, so it's like long ideas into like a medium format, and some novellas are like short story ideas in a medium format. So you like elongate the short story ideas. And then some novellas are just medium ideas within a medium format. And that was super cool to me. The idea of like, because like novels are like a big thing. They're very popular. And that's really like what the whole like publishing industry is built off of, blah, 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 blah. Like, we already know that. But I think being able to explore like smaller ideas without having to worry about making it like 50,000 words is cool, because like there's no possible way I could write like, you know, somebody just watching like a movie for the evening and then like going out the next morning as like a novel. I could write it as a short story, but I wonder if there's like a medium idea in there, like a novella. So it's been super fun now writing both short stories, novellas, and now novels, like seeing how they are all related, and then how ideas you can like apply them to, and then also like doing micro too, because before I never used to write any of that stuff. I just used to write novels. So now I'm like, it's fun. You can kind of pick and choose and recognize what's a novel idea, what's a novella like length idea, what's a short story length idea. Yeah, I think a brief catch up with a character, that would be fun. That's what I think I can do with Jeremiah. If I ever want to see him again, it'll be a catch up. It was a movie with Anya Taylor-Joy about rich people eating food. It's a very shallow summary, and I didn't dislike it. I just liked it as a movie instead of a statement on money. Oh, was that the menu? I'm sorry, I'm so behind that I'm missing all the titles. Okay, everyone's talking about the magicians. Okay, now I'm curious. I'm very curious. I don't even know what it's about. Magicians? I would let you edit the entirety of Black Forest cake if I wasn't a broke spaghetti noodle. I have no sauce. Oh no. Oh man. I'm always down to look at like individual chapters too if you don't want to do a whole shebang. But there's never any pressure. Because freelance editing is expensive. So and I always try to share things as free as possible first. So I'll try to share my editing knowledge soon. I just haven't had time to like look over an excerpt yet and edit one and then make a video about it. Microfiction. Yeah, I love micro so much. Like a really cool story is I have the book here. Oh, it's right here. Can I grab it? Making noise. Gonna move my Madonna CD. Oh, it's right next to Body Bag. My uncle, who, like I said, the millennial. I was going through his room the last time I was in the States because that's where we were staying, his old room, and he ended up having a copy of this book, microfiction. I think from when you must have been in college, and so he gave it to me, and I think this is like where microfiction started or the term microfiction was created. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's edited by Jerome Stern. It's just called microfiction. So if you search up microfiction, the anthology, or microfiction Jerome Stern, you'll probably find it. But it was really cool finding sort of like the origins of a form, because now there's so much microfiction, but I think this might have been the first publication or like the first time microfiction was like, I don't know, called microfiction. I don't know when it was published, maybe in the 90s, I think. The intro is like, a short time ago, I got a phone call from a man in New York who saw the announcement of Florida State University's world's best short story contest. He said, it said 250 words maximum. What is that? A misprint? I thought maybe it should read 2,500 words. 2,500 is pretty short. No, I said 250 is right. It's a challenge, a problem and narrative, and it seems to be working out. We've been running the contest since 1986, and every year we get thousands of entries. So I think maybe that's where it kind of came from. And there's some really good ones. I can't remember which ones I like the best. I know I have pictures of them somewhere, but I don't remember which ones I like the best. There's one from can't remember her, Kim Madanizio, who is a really great poet I like, which I think is pretty good on the inside of here. Dallin says, I'm trying to write more micro. I wrote one really good micro, and now it feels like I immediately forgot how I did it. Yeah, I feel that. right as I do anything with writing, I'm like, I know everything on this topic, and then give it one day, and I'm like, I have no idea. I have no idea. That was kind of me like getting my footing back with this like George Michael Faith micro. It's a cool title. Do I have the title? I can read it. You're on the I-70 again, and George Michael keeps saying he's got to have faith. It's a bleeding title into the first sentence. But yeah, I think micro as a form is so interesting because it really won't take that long, but it's also really tricky because it's very short, right? Charlotte says, I feel that's so hard. I'll do something well once, and I'm like, well, that was a fluke because the knowledge is just gone. I like to think of it like your brain kind of slotted it like back in the subconscious. So like you still have the knowledge maybe, but like, can you access it? Sometimes I get lucky, but I feel that it's like with short stories. I was thinking that today. I did that challenge, and I don't think I could write a short story right now without like a little bit of practice and reading short stories again. Man, it's like a muscle. Yeah, it was really cool to find this book. I just found it on the shelf, and then I also found like a he let me take them, which is very nice. A copy of Cathedral by Raymond Carver. And so I wanted to read more Carver too. So yeah, it was cool. Dallin says, I think my one micro pub worked because I refused to let it be any longer than a micro. Maybe I just need to do that again. Yeah, I think I want to continue to work on micro. I have one that I'm working on that was like the Harrison one. I think working on them with like a kind of like a set idea and like a set limit, that's been helpful. I don't know, but I'm just so new to it. And then I wrote that one that was just rejected, and they were like, we really liked it, and we're sorry, we just didn't have space. I was like, no, no. But it was okay. I really like the magazine who I submitted it to, so I'm looking forward to seeing their issue anyway. So I need to find more places to submit. I just don't know where to submit. I don't know. There's something about the second or third attempt being so much harder than the first. Like the novelty of the new form is gone. Yeah, that was like me with the shampoo aisle micro I wrote. That the one that was rejected. Like I think I wrote it really fast. I kind of like it clicked really fast, and now it's like I have no idea how to do this. The only thing that helps me with micro is that I'm a poet. So like microfiction really depends on how you want to label things. I think we talked about this when I was in a poetry class once, where like it just depends on what the writer wants to call it, because microfiction could really just be a prose poem. So like Kaming Chang's like microfiction, I think like Kaming Chang really approaches microfiction like a lot of the times through like a prose poetry lens, which makes sense because she writes a lot of poetry. But then some of my micro is like more narrative heavy. So it's like different styles of micro. So I think when I don't know how to approach micro, I'm like, I'm going to write a prose poem. And then it kind of ends up working out. I don't know. Talon says, you just reminded me of the Felix micro, where I microified a novel scene with him. If I hadn't posted on Tumblr, I'd submitted it places. That sounds so good. You can't submit it still? I would read that in a magazine. I would read that. So yeah, I think did I read that? I think I did. The micro idea I have right now, I can hear it, but I don't know the words, and I'm like, is this a prose poem? That's like the difference between like micro and prose poetry. Is prose poems is like more just like the sound of the words. It's like more floaty, it's more abstract, and then microfiction is very like it has more of like they're just cousins. They're very similar, and they could be the other one. It really doesn't matter, but it feels like there's a floatiness to like prose poetry in comparison to, because meaning isn't really intrinsic in poetry, whereas like meaning might be, clarity is kind of more important, not all the time in narrative, but more traditionally more important sort of in narrative, Western narrative at least. So that's kind of like the differences of knowing how to do both kind of helps. But I know that's not very accessible advice. How to write microfiction, become a poet for it. That's not helpful. I've been finding it hard to adapt the micro. I have this one good idea. I just need to figure out how to adapt it. But I think what I'll do is it was based off of a poem. So I think I will maybe I'll just write it as a poem. It might be easier. Sometimes if the micro's not working, I'm like, okay, prose poem. Maybe. I do lots of microfiction for character development of characters in bigger projects. Oh, cool. Yeah. See, I like that. I've never thought about doing that with other characters besides sort of like the core characters. But I love that idea. I think that's a great idea. Yeah, that's so fun. See, I love diversifying what I write. I think it's become like and not like you have to or anything. I've found like I've had a lot more fun with it since I just started taking things less seriously, since I started like learning more. Like I learn the most when I'm trying new things. Like with the novellas, I never would have thought I'd know how to do that now. And now I have a stronger understanding. Will I know how to write novellas for the rest of my life? I don't know. But will I be open to it? Yeah, it's pretty fun. Best avenue for micro is extremely specific concept. That's why I always go for the long, hyper specific titles with them. I love that style of micro too. I think that's sort of what I've been drawn toward. I think the most is like, and I think that's like something about micro because it's so small. You also kind of needs to be so specific. Most of the micro that I've seen sort of follows that idea, and I think it's really cool. And now I want to write more microfiction. I think I'll revise the George Michael one because I think that one's really cool. I need to find some cool venues to submit it to, though. I'm not very well versed in like micro magazines as much, and I'm not sure how many like Canadian ones. I don't think any are just dedicated to microfiction. Slam them in weird situations and find out is my motive. Yeah, I think that's my thing too. Like with micro and like with just even poems too. Try to figure out the weirdest possible thing that could happen and then just like make it happen. You know? This is exactly how I think of titles now. And I think this is like, it changed the game for me when I was like learning how to title poems. Because like the title in a poem, sometimes the poem doesn't actually say at all what it's about, but like the title does. So what I learned about poetry, the more that I did it, the more that I workshopped, was like the poem itself, like the title itself of the poem is a story. And so like, I think in fiction, we don't value titles as much. And so in poetry, I think there's such like a big emphasis, and that would make sense. But why in like microfiction, the title would make so much more sense? Because I think on like a scale, microfiction leans more toward poetry than it does, you know, other types of prose. Like at least in the way that I approach them. I'm very generalizing, but yeah, it's really fun. I do recommend trying it out. Especially if you like write with characters that you already know, or like rewriting scenes. I didn't think of doing that until I wrote my chapbook. Where is that? I have no idea. I don't know. It's somewhere in there. I didn't think of like adapting scenes until I wrote my chapbook, and it really like changed something for me. I'm like, okay, that's really cool. Like you can see the same perspective of something, but like just think of your favorite TV show if somebody had turned it into a movie. Like what kind of changes? You know, like what does it look like? I find that really fun. It's like you don't have time to explain the concept. So you're basically saying, dude, just you have to be confident with the idea. And I think that shows with that sort of bold specificity. Yeah, I totally agree. That's so how I approach micro, or how I try to approach micro, and like my favorite stories. I think if you hit the specificity and idea and then also the voice, like you got a winner there. The title is a story. I love seeing titles as like a form in their own right. That's why I'm like so passionate about titles, and why I title my chapters, because it's like they're not just titles, it's also like a narrative in itself. It's fun. Ghost of the 1970s, Leather Daddy living in our kitchen literally was just how the idea came to me, and I just made that the title. That is such a good, I love that story so much. If people have not read it, we all need to read it. It's very good. Yeah, that's so, I love the origin story on that. That's sick. And I love the title so much. I think like characterizing something in a title in micro, that can give it like the little edge, and it's like really exciting, like especially in like the long titles. So yeah, I want to continue to do that. Especially as I like sort of ease back into writing. I think doing micro would be fun, especially for things that I've already written. Kind of rewriting these ideas could be fun. Where is? Oh, it's this one. I was looking at the Harrison micro. The first sentence is so good. Unfortunately, I cannot read that. So, but it's good. I like that. That's awesome. Yeah, I want to continue with that. I just haven't touched it, I think, since the summer. One of my titles for a chapter is Wolfing Out. Love it, because the main character shifts into a wolf, but his last name is also Wolf, and it's so brilliant. Oh yeah, that is really cool. I love that. That's a great title. I love the difference in like the syllables in the words, in both of the words there. That's very creative. Ronan says, I love titling chapters. Chapter 1 of The Other Eye is called Water's Cry? And Simon keeps seeing eyes in the water while he's doing dishes at work. These specific situations. That could be microfiction. That as an idea. That's cool. I like that. Um, Agnes says, for micro, it helps to keep my writing on stuff while I'm feeling lost. Yeah, I agree. I think it's like a nice little like a landing point you can kind of return to, and then I don't know. I find it, now that I'm thinking about it, that makes sense as to why the only thing I really wrote between like November and now was like that like microfiction story, or like approaching scenes as microfiction, like not knowing anything besides like what's happening, which is kind of how micro feels to me. So that's cool. The first chapter of Loverboy, Dallin says, Find a Lover, is like begging me to make it a poem because I have visions of it as a bleeding poem title. I think that would work so well as a poet. That would work so well. And I hope that you can do it because I would love to read that. That sounds so awesome. Ugh, I love that as a concept in general. Exploring the idea of a lover. We love that. That's like Jeremiah core. T-Frog says, sometimes I'll let my sister see my chapter titles before I've written them. And she says her favorite one is the favorite one I titled Zoya's Pomegranate. And she was so right because that was my favorite chapter. Zoya's Pomegranate? That sounds like a cool like band name. I love that. If your title can be a band name, I think it's like a winner. I think that one's really cool. My fave Black Forest Cake chapter title, which will never change, is The Angel from Cleveland, Ohio, named after, I don't know how to pronounce that, Hazelrot's Angel? I don't know. In Cleveland, Ohio, where the evil, unintentionally sexy priest is introduced. Wow, there's a lot happening in that one sentence. That's cool. The Angel from Cleveland, Ohio. I like that. That's like, yeah, that's like mysterious. I think I read this one after I saw you say something about it, and I loved this one. I think I did. I read this one. Freddie Mercury visits me in the psych hospital. Yeah, that's something that's kind of like. I like when like one of my favorite things right now with writing is like seeing like pop culture references. It wasn't something that like I really got into before, but I think now that a lot of like my specificity and research is that like around pop culture, I find like other pop culture in lit like really fun. So that sounds super cool. But yeah, I have to make a list of short stories that like and micros. I need to collect one. I have my list of short stories. If you're seeing this and you haven't read the short stories on that list from Manola Review, I highly recommend reading them because they're shutting down like next month. And so I don't think you'll be able to read the stories anymore after next month. So most of my favorite short stories are from that magazine. Just because I just remembered this. I was like, actually, let me hype that up because a lot of my favorites are on that website, which is so sad that they're one of my favorite magazines. Like my favorite magazine, actually. I agree. Pop culture is so fun for specificity. Like that's like the way I've made researching way more accessible. Is just making it more pop culture-y. It's so fun. And then like being a fan of things again, like for me, that makes life very enriching. So doing the research, it's not hard. It just becomes really fun. One of my fics is called Maintenance Floors, based off the abundance of floors in luxury hotels. That's a great title. I love when titles are like two unexpected words. This is very interesting lore. I love the angel image so much. Angel images are so fun. I mean, talk to my angel necklace. I love angel imagery. It's so beautiful. Yesterday I like edited myself into an angel in a photo shoot I did of myself, and it was so fun. It was so fun. I've seen some people worry that pop culture can age a story, but having written the 80s for 3 years, the pop culture is world building / air building. I agree. Like I don't think of it anymore as like, oh, like they mentioned 2012 and there's stuff. It just like it for me, it feels like the story has like dug its place in like a time, which I think is very special. It's like why music from the 80s, for example, like you can pick it out like when it's played. you can tell what it sounds like because it all sort of feels like it belongs to a specific era. It doesn't feel like, oh, that sounds so outdated when I listen to it. It is sad. All the mag shutting down. I'm so sad. I need to, because my first publication was with Manola. I have to go screenshot everything. But yeah, if you haven't read the stories that I love on there, I highly recommend. And I was a fiction mentee, so I also picked a lot of the stories for publication. It was basically having like an editor position under the guidance of the fiction editor, who is a great writer too. And so yeah, I had the privilege to be able to publish a lot of like my favorite stories. So read them. I highly recommend. They mentioned 2012. Right. If the story is, this is how I think about, like, characterizing 2005, for example. Like, it is supposed to feel like that. It's supposed to feel like the time. Agnes says it definitely could be they burned down the hotel to trap the people partying inside. There's so much mystery. I love that. That's so cool. Hello, hi. Overuse of dashes. Yeah, I overuse. Are we talking about M dashes? M dashes are my favorite. Like, they're a best friend to me. I love M dashes. M dashes are so beautiful. The maintenance floors are really unkempt and easily flammable, hence the title. I never finished that fic. I should. Yeah, that sounds really cool. I love like specific settings like that. And like sort of like flaws in the setting rather than flaws in the character. Ooh, fun. Wow, it has been 2.5 hours. I'm gonna log off soon. So we'll do like the big long goodbye. That's typical of me. Listen, Caribbean goodbyes last for like hours. Someone will say, I'm leaving, and they will still be there 2 hours later. So this is the start of the Caribbean goodbye for me. But this has been so fun. Thank you for sticking with me during all the tech issues from hell. Like, I left and everybody stayed. Like, that's so nice. And I hope everybody has like a good new year and that it's not stressful. I mean, I say that as somebody who's like perpetually stressed right now, but we'll get through it. Like, I feel good. Like, the vibes are okay so far, I hope. Talon says, I actually got complimented once at how grounded in the 80s my work was. And I was like, LOL, that's why autism showing pop culture specificity saved me. Yeah, whenever I think of the 80s, like, I think of you. Like, you're the whole decade to me. So I agree with that. I'm happy that everyone found this very fun. I think it was fun, and the tech issues were fun too. I say, this is what I get for not using my computer every day. It tries to kill me. Yeah, I think the tech issues were the friends we made along the way. Don't worry, like I said, it's the Caribbean goodbye. We'll be here forever. The rest of my evening, though, I don't know. It's 5:30. I'm gonna go feed my dog, hang out with my dog. And then maybe I'll write because I feel much, much, much better. I feel much better now after doing that one sprint and then talking to everybody and then hearing everybody talk. I'll try to do these streams as much as possible because if I end up getting like a job, that might be harder to do. So I'm gonna try to do them as much as I can now that I have the time. But I have like, there's like a fire. Why we have a fireplace? Maybe I'll do a little fireplace moment and write more Changing States. I do feel like writing Lost Gods, however. So maybe I'll read, if I want to do that, maybe I'll read something and then write. I don't know. My plans are so like, they're very loose. Agnes, the tech issues just add quirk factor. Oh, don't worry. I know. I'm sorry. I start them so early in the day that it's kind of hard to join. I'm sorry. I'll try to do like weekend ones and like to push times too. But thank you for attending. And thank you for staying up past your bedtime. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna log off in a second. I'm happy to hear what everyone's going to do. Ronan says, I'm going to try and write this short story. And Sammy says, I'll write a little more today after the stream. And I'm going to do the same thing too. I'm going to go make tea. I'm going to, like I said, hug my dog. Maybe I will play my guitar because I have a thing that I want to do. And then I said I wanted to do the album review. So I will also do that. And then hopefully also write. So thank you for attending. This was very fun. And for bearing with me and for writing with me. Like, what? We got a whole whatever this is. Like, maybe I'll have an excerpt out of this. I don't know. Keep updated. But yeah, thanks for coming, guys. And I will see you hopefully soon. I'll try to do these way more often. Okay. See ya. It's gonna do that awkward thing where I'm here for a while I end this stream. Okay, we'll just smile and nod.